Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to the Engine Builder Show. Today, Gabe will be talking about why he believes you should teach your team the circle of life. If you've seen The Lion King, then might be the same thing. I know what it is. You should know what it is. But anyway, thank you so much and enjoy the show. Good morning, everybody.
There was always a ton to learn. Good morning, everyone. Thanks for taking time to tune in today. I appreciate you investing a little bit of time with me each day. And it's my goal to really just serve you at the highest level and help you grow as an entrepreneur, as a leader, as a marketer. And just like Jethro mentioned, we're going to talk about why I think you should teach your team about the circle of life. And no, it's not the song from The Lion King. And I didn't even think about this when I created this tool. But if it helps you remember, it's great. And if you send Jethro $10, maybe he'll send you a private Circle of Life video. He'll sing for you. I just made that up, so I have no idea. But you have to ask him. But anyway, the Circle of Life, to start out so you understand, it's a tool that I developed while I had hired a friend of mine to do some consulting for me, Annabelle Beckwith. She runs a company called Yara Journeys, and she's helped consult with some of the largest companies in the world. I forget what the top Fortune number is, the Fortune 50 or Fortune 100, really large multinational billion-dollar companies, all the way down to startups and other folks like that. And so I had hired Annabelle, and I said, I'm really struggling. And this was quite a few years ago now. It's probably 4 or 5 years ago. I said, I'm really struggling because I can't figure out how to get my team to make the same decisions that I make. And if I have to make all the decisions, then what's the point of having a team? And I was frustrated because I just wasn't, and I now realize I wasn't being an effective leader. And so as her and I talked and thought about what kind of decisions I wanted to hand off, what kind of decisions I wanted my team to make, she helped me uncover this idea that I came up with called the Circle of Life. And the Circle of Life is a decision-making tool that I teach to all my clients, and I want to teach you here today. It's something that if you use, I'm confident it's going to help you not only grow your company, but it'll help you scale decision-making, and it will help you offload things to your team that you shouldn't be worrying about anyway, and that you probably don't even have the information, or maybe you shouldn't even have the responsibility to make those decisions anymore. So the Circle of Life says, first, what's best for the company. Second, what's best for the team and then individual team members. And then third, what's best for the clients. And the reason that they're in there, it's a perpetual never-ending circle, one. But as we think through these things, I'll talk through why it's important to just make these three kind of filters, use these three kind of filters in your decisions. So the first thing is, if you make a decision that isn't good for the company, and it's not what's best for the company, then the company will go away if enough of those bad decisions are made. And then there won't be anything else. There won't be a team, and clients won't get served, and everything falls apart, right? So if we look and say, is this what's best for the company, as the first filter, because these are all interconnected filters. You can't just use one without the other two. But the first thing is to say, okay, is this what's best for the company? If it passes that, then it means it's going to be profitable. It's going to be bringing the right clients. If there's these other things that, that you think about. If it passes that first test, then you can say, okay, what's best for the team and then individual team members. If we make a decision that's just best for the company, but it hurts the team will quit and leave. They'll find a job where they're getting treated well. And then you won't be serving your clients, and you won't be making any money as a company, and everything falls apart. So all of these are dependent on the other two decisions. So what's best for the team is keeping them healthy. And also it's what's best for the team and then individual team members, because you can't make a decision that's only good for one team member without negatively impacting the rest of the team. So that's the second question. And the third question is what's best for the clients. Because if we make a decision that's good for the company and good for the team, but really hurts the clients, then the clients will stop paying the company, which is really bad for the company. And then if it's bad for the company, it hurts the team. And then if it's bad for the team, it hurts the clients. Same thing, same kind of thing there is if we make a decision that's, bad for the team, then they won't show up and serve the client. So it is the circle of life because it's just never ending and goes on. And that's the first thing to understand is making a decision. You have to consider all three of these factors in the circle. Is this what's best for the company? is this what's best for the team and then individual team members? And then is this what's best for the clients? When you do that, and when you start to frame all of your decisions in that light, and you teach this and use it yourself, and you teach your leadership team, and you teach your, all of your team members, whether they're brand new associate level or, a direct contributor role, or they're a manager, then you'll have a more healthy company that's making holistic and wise choices. And also, the second thing that comes from this is understanding the circle of life, talking about it, teaching it to your team, using it. Then what can happen is your team can make decisions on your behalf, and you scale decision making. If you think about your company right now, if you're just starting out and you're a solopreneur, you have to make all the decisions, you have to do all the work, you have to serve the clients, you have to deliver, you are the team, you have all these things going on. But when you look at, adding your first VA, or you start to build a team, or you start to use some other vendors, and you start to incorporate things, then what can unintentionally happen, as an inexperienced entrepreneur in the past, I had this happen, and I've seen other people do this, is you can hire people to do things, but they just check off tasks that you give them. And if there's a decision, it goes on to this long list of decisions that have to be made by you, and they stack up on your desk, essentially. Then you're going to make bad decisions with not good information, because you're going to be in a rush and you're going to get overwhelmed, or things are going to stall out and you're not going to make decisions, and that doesn't help either. So when you effectively teach and use the circle of life, then you scale decision making, and you take, work and burden off yourself. And the person that is closest to the decision is making the decision most of the time. And that's what you really want. And so scaling decision making and empowering your team is really the thing that comes out of this. The third thing that's great about teaching and using the circle of life, and I talk to my clients about this all the time, is if you use it by example and you talk to your clients about using the circle of life in their decision making, then they'll actually understand why you make a decision, and they'll become better clients, and they'll become better entrepreneurs and leaders and better companies. Because when we model something that's healthy, when we show our clients, when we show all of those around us, here's a principle-based approach to making decisions that makes everybody in the situation win, then that's something that can be really beneficial and really helpful. This is definitely something that I talk a lot about in my book, Atomic Words. So for some reason you don't have a copy of that yet, you can go over to atomicwords.com. You can get your copy. We're also giving away a bunch of bonuses on it right now, with some marketing training and some podcast training and a bunch of other things on top of the book. But in the book, I really dive in deep and explain the circle of life in great depth. But just as a recap and a reminder today, first, the circle of life is asking yourself, is this what's best for the company? And then, is this what's best for the team and the individual team member? Is this what's best for the client? So that is what the circle of life is. Those are just 3 questions to write down and keep in front of you. The second thing to remind you about circle of life is when you implement it effectively and you preach it and use it and practice it, you scale decision making, and you give your team the power to make decisions instead of just you, which is a healthy way to run an organization. And then the third thing, the benefit is, if you, by example, use the circle of life and you talk about it and teach it and preach it to your clients, then you'll create better companies around you, better clients. And it's just a win-win-win for everybody. So hope that's useful to you. If you have any questions about that, it's something I teach a lot about. So just drop your questions in the comments down below, or you can reach out at businessmarketingengine.com. I'd be glad to answer your questions there in email, or if you have a question you want me to cover on the show, I'd be glad to do that as well. So thanks for taking time to tune in today. Use the circle of life going forward, and I look forward to seeing you on the next show.